Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Barry Coombs for Gestalt IT, and today we're with Prakash Darji from Pure Storage, talking all about Pure1 Edge Services. Prakash, do you want to just do a brief intro around your job role as General Manager for the Digital Experience Unit, and then we'll get stuck into the subject of today's video.
Yeah, happy to. So my name is Prakash Darji. I'm the general manager of our digital experience business unit here at Pure. Been with Pure Storage about 4 years and largely have worked on building SaaS technology and cloud platforms in the past.
Fantastic. So today is all about the Pure1 Edge Services. We've previously done some stuff on FinOps, and also I know you from other subject matter around Pure. Tend to be one of the thought leaders at Pure and leading the way with how some of these things are coming together. So do you want to kind of give us a general overview as to what Pure1 Edge Services is?
Yeah, well, look, I will, but I'm going to kind of step back a little bit because, frankly, Edge Services is a means to an end, not an end. The end we want to deliver people is a SaaS experience. So if you think about where your applications go, you may have applications anywhere and data follows where your applications are. It's kind of silly to put your apps in one place and your data in another. The apps generate the data and you put the data wherever the apps sit. So our philosophy is to manage that complexity in the world we live in today. Your data is going to be distributed. So the easiest way to think about it is very similar to the IoT world. Tesla has a bunch of cars on the road. They manage them centrally and send and push instructions to it. Well, why can't you treat storage the same way? So Pure1 Edge Services allows us to treat storage as an edge device that we can push things to, push updates, push policies, run, operate, and manage. Why are we doing it? Largely so we can SaaSify storage. We want you to not have to worry about policy management, compliance, provisioning, like a lot of the tasks that people need to do could be automated away if you use that IoT first principle. And Pure1 Edge Service is that edge agent that has a trusted connection with Pure1 in the cloud that allows us to push policies down to those arrays.
Definitely. I
Make
love that
sense?
concept of sassifying storage. To me, when we previously spoke, it really kind of sums up what you're trying to achieve here with this kind of cloud control plane. Storage is wherever storage needs to be, right? There's no point putting it anywhere else, but you want a sort of a commonality, a place that you can go to that you know you can see what's going on. So generally, when we talk about storage, it's obviously used with such a wide variety of applications, and some of those people will probably be very excited about the scenarios that they're allowing them centrally manage it. Some ultra secure customers are probably starting to get a little bit concerned as to sassifying my storage. Well, what does that mean? It's not even connected to the internet. Others are probably somewhere in the middle ground where they go, well, this could be interesting. We've got to evaluate it. So, would you be able to just give us a bit of an overview as to how Pure have architected these services to ensure that they are not only well functioning, but also secure, and how do they allow customers to consider their use cases?
Yeah, well, look, the first thing is we're building our Pure1 Edge service, and we've built it on a framework of trust. So there's multi-factor authentication, all the best practices on certificate management, customer approval, all of the trusted connections exist to prevent any type of situation or blast radius from a security standpoint. It's fundamental to what we do. Now, everyone thinks about data privacy, but let's talk about human beings and human life for a second, right? Your Tesla car gets an update to the operating system and you drive it, and potentially if you're self-driving and you get a bad update, could it kill you? I think that's a little bit more sensitive than data, human life, right? Yet we're comfortable with it as a human population. Why? Because all these frameworks of how you do IoT-based edge management has been around for 20 plus years. This is not a new concept. It's new to storage, but it's not new to the world of IoT. Smart factories, smart lights, smart cities, smart homes, right? So all the things that are frameworks built around creating the secure foundation to run, operate remote. Like, I think most of home security systems on the planet now are built on the same type of framework. Like how you secure your home from intruders, right? Um, so that same concept is what we built our Pure1 Edge service on. So multi-factor authentication, where high sensitive operations, things like software upgrades, things like eradicating data, for example, or things like turning on or turning off your ransomware protection, right? Those are activities that are high sensitive operations. And the same way you trust your bank statements with multi-factor authentication and logon, we're using those same concepts for Pure1 Edge service for all sensitive operations.
Makes sense. So secure by design. This is something that people should have the confidence in the ability to be able to utilize. I also understand that it's a sort of an opt-in based solution, so it's not kind of on and enabled where on every single Pure storage array by design.
Yeah, look, we're meeting customers where they're at in the journey. Obviously, our desire is to move everyone to Pure as a service behind a SaaS experience that we run and operate and manage remotely, right? But there's some people who still like driving cars, even if the car could drive itself. We know there are hobbyists that like doing the work, right? Our goal is to make that simple, seamless, et cetera, for everybody. But we'll meet people along the journey. So yes, it's on an opt-in basis. People will have, there are going to be leaders that get there faster. There are going to be laggards that take a while to go ahead and get comfortable with that concept. But it's not going to slow down our intent of trying to SaaSify storage, right? And I think in our last conversation, we were talking a lot about FinOps and the role of data in that journey. This is just part of an evolution of how do you know what to do? You need to collect data. How do you use the data to enable policy-based management? And now you can say, how do I take action versus just tell you what to do, right? This is to help me take action on your behalf versus me just telling you, maybe you should do this. So it's part of that evolution of where we're going in that journey to SaaSify storage.
Definitely, it makes complete sense. I mean, data makes the world go round. I think they say it's the new gold, it's the new oil kind of thing, and we've got to find out ways inside our organisations to be able to not just keep on collecting and hoarding data, but leverage it to make important decisions and dictate where it is that we're spending our time. So I think we've got to the point as to we kind of understand what it is, we understand how it is secured, how it's designed from the ground up with that IoT mindset. So what features are Pure delivering today with these services?
Well, so look, the first one is going to be very simple. Delivering software updates, right? If you think your iPhone, you can take over-the-air updates, right? Think cars and IoT devices, your Nest thermostats, they all get over-the-air updates. Now, in storage, a software update in the industry historically, and if I take a look at the competitive landscape, is a massive event for someone. It's like, this is the planned window, and I need to go ahead, and there's going to be some performance disruption, or I need to. So the good news is our system was designed 10 plus years ago to make all software updates non-disruptive. Our storage dual controller architecture, where we have a passive standby to take over, means no performance degradation during an upgrade. It's completely seamless to customer. Without that foundation, a software update would still be a change event that you would have to plan around. We'd not be able to do this, even though the Pure1 Edge technology enables us to do it. We'd still not be able to do it. So the foundation of saying software updates can be non-disruptive is first what we need. Then the second thing is, okay, how do we move you to say, I'm comfortable with getting updates frequently? Well, right now in the world that we're in, critical vulnerabilities, hacks, new vulnerabilities come out multi-times a week. So gone is the era from a security standpoint where you can think about planned windows every 6 months to do software updates for storage. Like you're living in, more than 18 months ago now, because in the last 18 months, if you haven't lived under a rock, like we're in a world where responsiveness to critical vulnerabilities is key. So the first priority is software updates and software velocities, because that's the only way to stay on top of security in your landscape. So back to your security problem, you could say, oh, is there a security risk for going Pure1 Edge service? I would say there's a security risk for not going automatic updates, right? And so that's kind of the first element. The next thing we're doing is we launched a product, Pure Fusion, in the past that's using the same capability to deliver policy-based management to customers' landscapes, so they can do things like workload rebalance on their fleet based on storage classes and those types of things. And finally, we have a new product called Atom, which is atomic tunables, where we can optimize your environment based on the workloads and how you're deploying and using that system. So previously, that would happen in like, oh, we found this workload, and you have to talk to support, and we can optimize the storage to work under that condition. Now we have this ability to push system optimizations to environments based on localizing that workload. So when you think about SaaS, the way you need to think about SaaS is standardizing. The problem with storage and data is workloads are variable. So how do you standardize? Well, you can standardize the operating environment, but localize to workloads using policies and updates. So this gives us the ability to create a more efficient operating environment locally for customers.
So what I'm hearing is this is kind of coming together with the arrays, the services. This is making Pure smart, SaaSified storage, central control plane, policy driven. It's more secure, not only by design, by the fact that it is able to keep up to date and stay up to date, tuned to your organization's specific needs. So this really sounds quite exciting, that it's many pieces now coming together to deliver those kind of smart features.
Oh, 100%. And this is the first step. You know what I mean? That's what excites me. Is not like this is a step on the journey to SaaSify. And we've been taking steps a long time. Our evergreen architecture, our data leverage, our Pure1 telemetry, our recommendations. Now the next step is starting to take action. But think about the future where we could say, you know what? Just tell me your intent, and we can prescribe that intent regardless of wherever your storage sits. In a hyperscaler, in your data center, at an MSP, doesn't matter. So you can start thinking about the world where, yeah, it's just an edge device. My data is sitting wherever it sits, but I can ensure I have a single management, monitoring, and policy-based approach to taking action across all of my data wherever it sits. That's the approach that we need to drive. And this is an enabling capability that's taking us closer to that destination that we've been driving.
Fantastic. Sounds really exciting times for Pure. Not only is this a fantastic update and fantastic functionality, but for me, it is the excitement that comes from the future possibilities from these types of solutions. So really good as ever to hear from you, Prakash, and to hear about these technologies. I'm really excited to see what our next video will be about and what we'll be talking about next, because I feel like there's a momentum going on here and some exciting things happen at Pure. So thank you ever so much for joining me on today's video.
Yeah, thanks, Barry, for having me.
I recommend that everyone checks out Gestalt IT, go and check out the rest of the content, as well as checking out Pure Storage to find out what the latest news is from them. Thank you for joining us.